seems in this very weird world that we now live in, whatever you do, whatever you say, can be misconstrued the wrong way. Even if it's comedy, as we all know, we live in a very woke cancel culture society. But once again, our gracious Majesty the Queen, on a very special Platinum Jubilee year, is being dragged into this offensive argument. It's madness, trust me. Let me explain as ever. Morning, Neil Sean here in the heart of London. Nice to see you today. Yes, as ever, lovely to see you. Don't know what you're doing? Let me know as ever in the comments below. Thank you also for your very kind comments about some of the recent videos. ABBA, totally agree with you. Fabulous group. Still think they could have done a one-off concert. Apparently took over 5 days to film the holograms. Ridiculous, isn't it? One big concert, maybe beamed or streamed around the world. Can you imagine how phenomenal that would have been? I think the bit that put me off seriously about the interview with ABBA was when they said they agreed to do the album and the holograms, but the girls didn't want to do any media. I understand, I get it, you know, you're getting on, you don't fancy talking to media, but more importantly, they are your fans. They're the ones that bought your records. So you do owe it to them, whatever you think. This particular story centres on the wonderful celebrations that Tom Cruise attended recently out at Windsor Great Park. You know the ones I'm talking about, the Gallop Through History, which was graciously attended by our wonderful monarch, Queen Elizabeth II. And all was going well, you know, we had some big names there, the beautiful Catherine Jenkins singing away, and alleged comedy points, you know, Martin Clunes, not quite sure what he was doing there, and Damian Lewis, wonderful actor. And then, of course, we had a comedian, not very well known really around the world, Omid Djalali, I think is his name, and he made a rather quip, you know, a bit of a fun quip really, about how our gracious Majesty the Queen had decided to attend this event while bypassing the very boring state opening of Parliament. And then, of course, there was the hand wave from our gracious Majesty the Queen, was, you know, allegedly now being misconstrued by many. But this has really opened a can of worms, and let me explain the reasons why. All the anti-royalists, you know, the monarchists, the abolished the monarchy, were out in force because they literally took it as a fact. You know, now, when he had got the, you know, agreement to say that joke, it was through our gracious Majesty the Queen. She does know exactly what they're going to say, within reason. Everything's gone through the production team, all that sort of stuff. So it wasn't offensive, it was a very funny joke. Of course, she didn't want to get involved politically, but let me tell you, way back in the 1960s, a very funny group called the Crazy Gang, which were a big hit for the royal family at the Victoria Palace Theatre. They performed at the Royal Command Performance. They did a very similar joke by hiding someone in the royal box. And when they came on and said, look, we need to shift a car, it's parked out front, they read out the number plate, which was the number plate of course, the royal family. And then a pair of keys shot down from the royal box for them to move it. Very clever by them, actually. Now, moving forward, you know, when you think about it in 2022, should we be offended? Or is it really now just the woke cancel culture that won't let people enjoy anything without it having a significance or a negative? Here is a 96-year-old monarch that's attended many, many state openings of Parliament. So cruelly, you know, on a very big and special night, they're trying to bring this lady down. As ever, I'd love to know what you think to the comments below. I mean, really, is it worth getting that involved with? Should comedy just remain comedy? Or is it now the woke brigade that simply will not back up and tell everybody's as miserable as they are? You know my thoughts. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.